Hello, friends. Welcome to Grandma's Truth, where we unravel raw, shocking stories from everyday lives. I'm Margaret,
Default text.
65, and today's tale of betrayal, love, and redemption will grip your heart. 2 weeks after burying my husband Henry, my sister Linda tried to shatter my world with a vicious lie. Subscribe now to catch more jaw-dropping truths, and drop your city in the comments for a shout-out. Big thanks to Sarah Thompson from Chicago for joining our truth-seeking family. It all started 40 years ago at the annual church bake sale in our small Midwestern town. The air was thick with the scent of fresh-baked goods, cinnamon rolls, chocolate chip cookies, and my specialty, apple pies made from Granny Smith's picked fresh from the local orchard. I stood behind my table, apron dusted with flour, arranging the pies just so, when a tall man with kind eyes and a gentle smile approached. He picked up one pie, then another, sniffing them appreciatively. "These smell like heaven," he said with a warm grin that made my cheeks flush, just like the baker herself. His name was Henry, and he ended up buying 3 whole pies, claiming they were for his ailing mother. Later, he'd confess it was all a ploy to strike up a conversation with me. That very evening, we had our first date at Miller's Diner, a cozy spot downtown with red vinyl booths and a jukebox playing oldies. We ordered milkshakes and burgers, but the food went mostly untouched as we talked for hours. Henry shared stories of his childhood on a farm in rural Kansas, how he'd risen early to milk cows and dreamed of becoming a teacher to help kids escape the hardships he knew too well. I opened up about my own upbringing in a bustling family home, the middle child always trying to keep peace amid the chaos. By the time the diner closed and the waitstaff politely shooed us out, I knew this man was special. His laugh was infectious, his compassion genuine. He remembered details I'd mentioned in passing, like my love for gardening and my secret wish to travel to Europe someday. 2 years flew by in a whirlwind of dates, church events, and stolen moments. Henry was promoted to school principal, a role that suited him perfectly. He had this incredible gift for remembering every student's name, their favorite subjects, even their family troubles. "Education isn't just about books," he'd say, "it's about building futures." One crisp Christmas Eve during the church service, surrounded by twinkling lights and the congregation singing carols, Henry dropped to one knee right there in the aisle. "Margaret, you've made my life brighter than any star," he said, his voice steady despite the nerves I could see in his eyes. "Will you marry me?" The whole church erupted in cheers and applause as I said yes, tears streaming down my face. We married the following spring in that same little church, with wildflowers decorating the pews and our families beaming from the front rows. It was a simple ceremony, but filled with so much love that it felt like the grandest affair. After our honeymoon, a modest trip to the Ozarks where we hiked trails and picnicked by lakes, we bought our first home on Maple Street. It was a charming 2-story colonial, priced at $200,000 back then, which seemed like a king's ransom on our modest salaries. Henry had just become superintendent, overseeing several schools, and I was teaching 3rd grade at the local elementary. The house had character, creaky wooden floors, a fireplace in the living room, and a sprawling backyard with an ancient oak tree that begged for a tire swing. We spent our weekends transforming it, painting the walls in soft blues and yellows, planting rose bushes along the fence, and hanging that swing from the sturdiest branch. We'd sit out there at dusk, sipping lemonade, imagining the laughter of children echoing through the yard as they played under the oak's shade. But those children never arrived. For 10 long, agonizing years, we tried everything. Monthly doctor visits became routine, each one starting with hope and ending in disappointment. We underwent tests, fertility treatments that left me exhausted and emotional, even experimental procedures that drained our savings. I remember one particularly grueling appointment in the city, sitting in a sterile office with fluorescent lights buzzing overhead. The specialist, a kind but blunt man, reviewed our charts and shook his head. "I'm sorry," he said gently, "but the odds are against you. It might be time to consider other paths." The drive home was silent, Henry's hand gripping mine tightly as tears blurred the highway. That evening, back in our quiet home, he pulled me close on the porch swing. "Margaret," he whispered, his voice cracking, "we have each other. And that's more than many ever get. Our love can fill this house, even without little feet running around." His words were a balm, but the pain lingered, a quiet ache that surfaced on holidays or when friends announced pregnancies. We adapted, finding joy in other ways. We traveled to places we'd only dreamed of, Paris for our 10th anniversary, where we strolled along the Seine and shared croissants at dawn. Italy, with its rolling hills and ancient ruins that made us feel timeless. Back home, we became the beloved aunt and uncle to our extended family. Our house turned into the hub for Thanksgivings, with turkey roasting in the oven and the table groaning under pies and casseroles. Christmases saw the living room overflowing with wrapping paper and excited nieces and nephews. Henry threw himself into his work, mentoring young teachers and advocating for underfunded schools. His students adored him. I'd often find thank you notes from graduates tucked into his desk, crediting him for changing their lives. Life wasn't what we'd planned, but it was rich and full, woven with threads of resilience and deep affection. My younger sister Linda, at 62 now, was the polar opposite of our steady life. 3 years my junior, she grew up in the shadow of my achievements, or so she claimed. From childhood, she was the dramatic one, always center stage in family gatherings. Her laughter loud and her tantrums legendary. Our parents doted on her, perhaps because she was the baby, or maybe because her beauty and charisma drew people in like moths to a flame, but beneath that sparkle was a well of jealousy that poisoned our relationship. As kids, if I got a new dress for school, Linda would sulk until she got a fancier one. When I won a spelling bee in 4th grade, she accidentally spilled juice on my certificate. It's not fair, she'd whine to mom and dad, Margaret always gets everything. Our parents, well-meaning but enabling, would hush her with treats or excuses, never forcing her to confront her envy. As adults, the pattern persisted. While I built a career in teaching, Linda bounced from job to job, waitress, receptionist, even a brief stint as a real estate agent that ended in complaints from clients. Men came and went in her life like seasons, each relationship more turbulent than the last. Our parents worried endlessly, wiring money when bills piled up or co-signing loans she couldn't repay. Henry, ever the peacemaker, encouraged me to be patient. "She's your only sister, Margaret," he'd say softly during our evening walks. "Family forgives family, even when it's hard." But the jealousy festered. When Henry and I bought our house, Linda complained bitterly about her cramped apartment until our parents helped her upgrade. My promotion to head teacher? She suddenly announced she wanted to go back to school for education, though she never followed through. It was exhausting, this constant one-upmanship, but I loved her, or at least the idea of a sisterly bond, and tried to bridge the gap with invitations to dinners and offers of help. 5 years ago, Linda started dating Jake, a mechanic with grease-stained hands and a temper as volatile as his pickup truck's engine. Our parents disapproved from the start. He was rough around the edges, with a history of bar fights, but Linda thrived on the drama. Their relationship was a soap opera, screaming matches followed by tearful reconciliations, doors slammed and then passionate embraces. Then came the bombshell at Easter dinner 3 years ago. We were all gathered around the table, ham-carving knife in hand, when Linda stood up dramatically, napkin clutched to her chest. "I'm pregnant," she announced, fake tears glistening. "It's a miracle." The room fell silent. After our decade of infertility heartbreak, the news hit like a gut punch. Why her, so carelessly, when we'd prayed so fervently? But I swallowed the bitterness, forcing a smile. "That's wonderful, Linda. I'm so happy for you." Inside, grief warred with genuine excitement. I was determined to be the best aunt, showering this child with the love Henry and I couldn't give our own. Tommy was born on a crisp autumn day, 7 pounds of perfection with chubby cheeks and a tuft of dark hair. I rushed to the hospital with a bouquet of daisies and a handmade crocheted blanket I'd spent months perfecting, each stitch a whisper of hope. Linda looked exhausted but triumphant, cradling him in her arms. From the start, motherhood overwhelmed her. She'd call me in the middle of the night, sobbing about colic or feeding issues. "I can't do this, Margaret," she'd wail. I'd drive over, rock Tommy to sleep with old lullabies my mother sang to us, his tiny fingers wrapped around mine. Those moments were bittersweet, holding him close, inhaling that sweet baby scent, feeling a maternal love I'd long buried. Henry, though, kept his distance. He'd smile politely when Linda brought Tommy over, but never held him or engaged much. I assumed it was the reminder of our own lost dreams, the pain too raw. Give him time, I'd tell myself, not pushing. Then came that fateful Monday morning 3 weeks ago. Henry woke early, as always, but this time he clutched his chest, face pale. "It's nothing, honey, just indigestion from that spicy chili last night," he insisted, planting a kiss on my forehead. I begged him to see the doctor, but he waved me off with his usual optimism. "I'll take a walk in the garden, get some fresh air." Those were his last words to me. An hour later, our neighbor Mrs. Peterson found him slumped under the oak tree, the one with the tire swing still hanging silent. The ambulance sirens wailed, but it was too late, a massive heart attack at 67. My world imploded. The days blurred into a haze of funeral arrangements, choosing the casket, writing the eulogy, greeting sympathizers with numb handshakes. Henry had been my rock, my confidant, the man who made every day brighter. Now, the house echoed with emptiness, his favorite chair vacant, his coffee mug untouched. Linda's absence during those dark days was glaring. She claimed Tommy had a fever, or she couldn't find a sitter, but her excuses rang hollow. At the funeral, she lingered in the back row, slipping away before the reception at our home. I was too grief-stricken to question it, assuming she was processing her own sorrow. Henry had been like a big brother to her, always offering advice or a listening ear. Little did I know, her mind was already scheming. A week after the burial, Tommy's first birthday rolled around. The last thing I wanted was to paste on a smile for a children's party, but duty, and Henry's voice in my head, pushed me. Family comes first, even when it's hard, he'd always say. So I wrapped a colorful toy train set, dressed in a simple black dress that still felt like morning attire, and drove to Linda's rented duplex across town. Exhaustion weighed on me like a heavy blanket. Sleep had evaded me since Henry's death, nights spent staring at his empty pillow, replaying our last moments, parking behind unfamiliar cars. I took deep breaths before knocking. Linda's friend Carol answered, her eyes widening in surprise. "Margaret, you came?" she stammered, glancing nervously inside. "Everyone's in the backyard." The house was festooned with balloons and streamers, a banner proclaiming, "Happy First Birthday, Tommy." Groups of strangers huddled in the kitchen, their whispers halting as I passed. In the yard, more unfamiliar faces milled about with plastic cups. My parents sat awkwardly at a picnic table, looking out of place. Dad stood to hug me tightly. "We weren't sure you'd make it, dear." Mom avoided my eyes, fidgeting with her napkin. The air buzzed with unease. Conversations died when I approached, people offering awkward condolences about Henry while stealing glances. After half an hour of strained small talk, Linda finally appeared, Tommy on her hip in a tiny suit. She looked polished, new dress, salon hair, barely acknowledging me as she set him in his high chair for photos. Then she tapped her cup for attention. "Thank you for celebrating Tommy's special day," she began, voice theatrical. "This year has brought changes, and secrets I can't hide anymore, especially after Henry's passing." A chill ran down my spine. "Tommy isn't Jake's son," she declared, locking eyes with me. "He's Henry's. We had a secret affair 2 years ago during troubles in his marriage." Gasps rippled through the crowd. "And here's his last will," she waved a paper triumphantly, "leaving half their house to Tommy as his heir." The world tilted. Pitying stares burned into me, my parents' faces ashen. Dad half rose, as if to steady me. But inside, a bubble of hysterical laughter rose, because it was utterly impossible. I sipped lemonade to compose myself. "I see," I said calmly. "May I see the will?" Linda hesitated but handed it over. One glance confirmed, amateur forgery, legal jargon mangled, signature off. Henry's elegant loops replaced with clumsy scrawls. I folded it neatly. "Thank you. I think I'll head home now." Linda blinked in confusion. "That's it?" "For now," I replied. "This is Tommy's day." In my car, away from prying eyes, the laughter escaped, morphing into sobs. The absurdity, the cruelty, using Henry's death for gain. But Linda didn't know the truth that made her lie crumble. 4 years earlier, Henry had been unusually tired. Hiding pains he dismissed as age. I insisted on a doctor's visit. Dr. Roberts, our longtime physician, ran tests and referred him to a specialist. The diagnosis, prostate cancer, early stage but aggressive. We were terrified. "We'll fight this together," Henry said, holding me as I wept. The surgery was scheduled quickly, a radical procedure to remove the tumor. It went well, the cancer was gone, but with a devastating side effect. Permanent sterility. "It's a small price for my life," Henry joked weakly in recovery, but I saw the shadow in his eyes. We kept it secret. After years of intrusive questions about our childlessness, privacy felt sacred, only we and the medical team knew. During recovery, Henry grew reflective. One afternoon in his favorite armchair, wrapped in a quilt I'd made, he said, "Linda's been acting strange. Probing about our finances, our marriage. I worry she might exploit something if I'm gone." I chuckled, thinking it paranoia from the meds. But he was serious. The next week, he asked me to drive him to Mr. Thompson's office, his lawyer of 15 years. In the wood-paneled room, Henry detailed his concerns, sharing odd texts from Linda, "How's married life treating you?" or "Ever think about what happens to the house if?" Mr. Thompson nodded gravely. "Let's document everything, medical records, communications. And update your will properly." We did just that. Henry's legitimate will, notarized and witnessed, leaving everything to me. A journal chronicling Linda's increasingly intrusive behavior. Printed texts and emails. A letter from Mr. Thompson affirming authenticity. All locked in a safety deposit box at the bank. "Hopefully unnecessary," Henry said as we sealed it, "but I want you protected, my love." The morning after the party, grief and determination propelled me to the bank. Mrs. Williams, the manager who'd known us for decades, offered condolences as she led me to the vault. Alone in the viewing room, I opened the box with trembling hands. There it all was, the Real will, medical files timestamped 3 years before Tommy's conception, proving paternity impossible. The journal, filled with Henry's neat handwriting detailing Linda's accidental visits and pointed questions. The lawyer's letter. And at the bottom, a sealed envelope in Henry's script, for Margaret, if needed. Tears blurred as I opened it. My dearest Margaret, it began. If you're reading this, I've left you too soon, and trouble has come knocking, likely from Linda. Use these documents to shield yourself, they're your armor. Remember, our love was built on truth and strength. Think back to that summer evening early in our courtship, when we picnicked by the lake. You shared your childhood memory of losing your favorite doll in the woods, how you cried for days, feeling the world had ended. I promised then I'd always be your finder of lost things, your anchor in storms. Even now, from wherever I am, I'm keeping that promise. Protect our legacy, but don't let bitterness consume you. Forgive where you can, for your own heart's sake. I love you more than words, more than time. Forever, Henry. The flashback hit like a wave, that picnic, fireflies dancing, Henry's arm around me as I recounted my 7-year-old self's devastation over the doll. I'll never lose you, he'd vowed, sealing it with a kiss. Now, his words bridged the grave, stirring fresh grief and fierce resolve. Henry had foreseen this, his love a guiding light. I met Mr. Thompson that afternoon in his downtown office, the air scented with leather and old books. He hugged me gently. Henry was a fine man, I'm so sorry. I laid out the party fiasco, showing the fake will. He examined it, chuckling darkly. This is amateur hour, wrong clauses, forged signature. But forgery's a felony. I shared the box's contents. Impressive foresight, he said. The medical records alone demolish her claim. He suggested a private investigator for context. Desperation drives such acts, let's understand why. Patricia Kane, a no-nonsense ex-cop with sharp eyes and a clipboard, arrived promptly. I recounted everything, she jotted notes furiously. Tell me about Jake, she probed. I described his volatility, the absent father at the party. Odd, she noted. I'll dig deep, finances, relationships, criminal records. A week later, we reconvened at Mr. Thompson's. Patricia's folder was thick. Linda's in deep trouble, $90,000 in debt, credit cards maxed, medical bills from Tommy's heart surgery last year, personal loans defaulting. Eviction notice, 5 months back rent, due next Friday. Jake? Skipped town to Florida with a girlfriend, sporadic $150 child support payments. Arrests for assault in 2 prior relationships, a warrant in Georgia for unpaid support on another child. Not father material. Worse, intercepted texts with Carol. Henry's death? Perfect timing. That house is worth $800,000, half for Tommy means security. Dave's faking the will from old cards, looks legit. Another, Margaret's always had the perfect life, husband, home, respect. Time she shares. The cold calculation sickened me. She's planned this for weeks, Patricia said. Mr. Thompson outlined options, press charges for fraud, up to 10 years, or private resolution. Subscribe to Grandma's Truth now for more heart-gripping tales of betrayal and triumph, and ring the bell to join our truth-seeking family. Drop your city below for a shout-out.